Hatakar shwadam. Winjar alajars. Hatakar. Guarpeti pajars. Harsh si balti yiguars. Ma ul udams winja waita waika. Hawaija salwai. Takar balhur. Winja laja daus.
Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome to Far Cry Primal. It is finally time for us to go back and see how it was back in the day. Now, if you think of Far Cry, think of this as a Far Cry game without guns. Most of the things that you remember from Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 4, they're going to be in this game. Most of the animations and most of the other things that you remember fondly of Far Cry 4, you will see in this here game. Now, what's the game all about, and is it really worth your money? Is it really worth $60 or 59 euros for that matter? Now, for me personally, I felt that it wasn't really meant as just a single player game. They should have invested in co-op for this, because co-op would have just made it so much better. Now, there is no co-op and there is no multiplayer to this game, so you're going to be playing this game on your own, and that's pretty much it. While there is plenty of things for you to do out in the world and beasts to tame, it still gets to a point where just playing this with somebody else would have just made it so much better rather than just playing it on your own all the time. While you do have to craft, and you have to get to resources to craft pretty much everything in your inventory, from your arrows to your spears to pelts to everything that you can possibly think of, that you will have to craft and you will have to kill something for it or gather something for it. I just felt that the benefit of having a co-op partner to play with, like you had in Far Cry 4, would have just made this game so much better. As it is so far, the question, is it good? Well, it's decent. I wouldn't say it's good or anything like that. There's just so many other things that they could have done with this game, and they could have improved it, and they could have made it such more of a different experience, because let's face it, Ark is kind of the only game, Ark Survival Evolved is kind of the only game that you get to tame sort of dinosaurs. In this one you get to tame tigers, lions, saber-tooths, bears, all sorts of different animals that you can find, prehistoric animals that you'll find throughout the world. So you get to tame some of those, and they'll aid you in your quest, and you can ride some of them, and so on and so forth. But I just felt that this could have been so much better. The characters, they just needed a little bit more oomph, if that makes any sense to anybody. They just needed that extra little bit of push. And with the addition of the co-op, maybe the multiplayer was not really a good idea, because let's face it, it was 5 versus 5 in Far Cry 4 and nobody really played the multiplayer. I played it a couple of times and I struggled finding any kind of matches in getting in there and just playing a bit of multiplayer, and it wasn't really something that I was really looking forward to. But the co-op side of things, I think that's going to be one of the things that you're going to be missing a lot if you're going to play this game with your buddies. One of the things that I never really felt in the game was being immersed in the game, taking the role of Takar and just helping his people, taking out some rival tribes and building his settlement and building his village and so on. While you do have to do most of these things throughout the world, and I'm not going to spoil the story for you or anything like that, it does get to a point where you'd just be thinking, this is just Far Cry with saber-tooths and tigers and stuff like that you can tame. There isn't really anything new and exciting what they've brought to it. While the concept is really good, just the lack of imagination. They could have made this game just so much better. So that begs the question, is it good? Do I spend 60 on this and buy it? Well, personally, I would suggest not just yet. I suggest you buying this, but buying it in a sale. So when this game goes down to a sale, when it's going to be $29.99 or something like that, then you should be buying it, because it's still good fun. Even on your own, you're going to explore, you're going to find all sorts of cool little things, and you can easily sink in 20-30 hours into this, just finding all the stuff that's around the map and all the loot and all the sort of collectibles and whatever, if you're into that sort of stuff. But as it is so far, it's just pretty much the same as Far Cry. Instead of liberating outposts, you're liberating sort of small little villages now, which some of them are called, you liberated an outpost. Come on, really, you could have just called it something different. And instead of liberating just radio towers like you did in Far Cry 4, you're just liberating these things here. While there is a lot of things for you to do, there's plenty of crafting, plenty of Beastmaster to master, and all sorts of things for you to gather and collect. it just gets to a point where doing this over and over again, it gets a bit repetitive and a little bit boring at times. While there is plenty of things for you to do out there, there's just the variety is kind of lacking. There's not too many weapons since you can't have guns in this game. Most of the things that you're going to be using is a spear, a club, and a bow. While some of the tames that you have do have certain weapons, like the owl can drop bombs and can drop certain things on the enemies and create a bit of panic in the enemy camp which you're trying to take over. You do have certain beasts that you'll be able to actually ride, therefore bringing you a little bit more variety to the gameplay. And also you will have the ability to just sort of send him into battle if you want to and just let him do its work, and then you just sit there and watch and then just sort of come in right at the end and just drop him with a club, or maybe put a spear through his face. For those of you wanting to see a little bit more of Far Cry Primal and interested in finding a bit more about it, then I'm going to be streaming the game as well, so you can check out, there's a link in the description to the stream. If you want to buy Far Cry Primal and you don't want to spend $60 for it, then there's a link in the description to my G2A page. You can get it a little bit cheaper than that, and I believe it's about $38 right now on G2A, so you can get it just a bit cheaper if you want to. Now, even though Far Cry Primal, it's a single player experience, try something that I've tried myself, and I guarantee you it's going to make the game just a little bit more challenging for you. Take off the minimap, take off the subtitles, and put it on the hardest difficulty. You'll start roaming around, you don't know where objectives are, you don't know what missions you should be doing. You'll just be using your sort of senses, if you will, to try and find stuff. Now, not only that you've put it to the hardest difficulty, that's going to make it quite a challenge for you because there's plenty of animals out in the world trying to kill you. So, hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. For those of you watching going to be watching the stream, I'll see you guys in the stream. For those of you who just watched the video, hopefully you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up, post a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
1, 2...